unstoppable. I came from the bottom, so let me show you what I could do. The king boy, I'm big boy, I'm phenomenal. I push one, you all gon' fall like some dominoes. I came for it all. Don't just give me a ring. If you don't give me everything, then don't give me the
Slam Pigs Podcast, Future Entertainment, at least one of each. Summerslam 2018 post show live. Supposed to be a simulcast, unfortunately. We'll get that a little bit only right here on this channel tonight on Habiki TMD. Welcome everyone, Travis here alongside my special guest. First time ever, done quite a few shows with you now, but never on this actual channel. Welcome to Habiki TMD, my man OJ from Future Entertainment. What's going on? Where can everyone catch you? How you been?
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead, OJ.
What's going on, guys? OJ. You can find me at OJ the Juice on Twitter and over on Future Entertainment doing some shows with Logan. And yeah, Travis, thanks for having me on, man.
No problem, man. Most welcome guest as always. As always, follow me on Twitter at TMD. All everything retro gaming for wrestling, all the goodness. Before we get to anything though, real quick, this was supposed to be, of course, another simulcast show, Future Entertainment. Obviously OJ. That's a lot of O's to work with. You're the co-host over there. Logan, the main man over there, unfortunately under the weather tonight. Hope you feel better, my friend. But glad to at least have you here, OJ. And on this end, Colin, my co-host from Slam Pigs, having some tech issues. He couldn't make it as well. Wish they could both be here, but we'll get them on there down the line. Like I said, feel better, Logan, and hope you get better shit. Colin to work with, but OJ, glad you're here, buddy. And yeah, go ahead.
We're a makeshift tag team. They put us together because our partners were injured.
Yeah, that's true. We're like Slater Gator all over again. I got dibs on Titus. Obviously, why we're here, OJ. SummerSlam 2018 is coming on in the books. I can't think of a wrestling fan alive between WrestleMania and this who sees just on paper this marathon of a goddamn chore at this point anymore to see who was hyped going into it. I think everyone, especially with this show in general, there was like that. The consensus was that sense of dread. Everyone was just like that, the collective groan looking at the card going in. And is that fair to say, OJ?
Yeah, especially with the show starting at 6 o'clock or whatever, pre-show.
Exactly.
I don't think people are looking forward to 6+ hours of wrestling or whatever.
And they do for New Japan, and that just goes to show the difference of like a streamlined product as opposed to this corporate wrestling in a way. But it proved me wrong. A good bit of the show proved me wrong tonight. We'll get to that. Something really goddamn weird though. As long as the show is 6 hours, you and I ironically came in at about the same part of the show unplanned at the three-way women's match, which looking back now is kind of weird how it worked out, but perfect in a way. So we can just pretty much start from there. But what I've seen that we did miss that you or I didn't see. Pretty much the B team retained. IC title match was okay.
Now I'll tell you that to me was a bit of a shock.
Same here.
I don't know. It's one of those things where I don't feel like they should have won team titles. They did, and the fact that they're now against pretty much everybody is kind of like, I don't know. It kind of defeats the whole underdog purpose.
It's going to be interesting to see. I think they're just going to get squashed by the AOP. I think that's going to be how the belts transition, honestly.
Some point. Yeah, at some point, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Maybe at Hell in a Cell. Maybe on Raw. I don't know.
Maybe they book it like the B team's getting that cocky that they feel like they are top guys, quote, or whatever, and they go into it and they get cocky and they challenge the AOP. And maybe that's, in a perfect world, maybe that's why they kind of book the AOP like shit, kind of keep them under the radar, and then, boom, put the belts on them and no one's expecting it. I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That'd
be a good idea.
Oh, by the way, I feel like I'm the last person on the earth that noticed the B team's music got changed. Maybe that's because I always turn off the TV when they come on. I just don't pay attention. But yeah, they changed their music.
I still haven't heard it yet. I probably should go look it up on YouTube. I'm sure they put it up already.
It just sounds like a marching band, like John Philip Sousa just conducting people to chant B team over and over or something. Yeah,
that's kind of cool, I guess.
It's better than the generic fucking cock rock theme they had like a couple months ago or whatever.
Oh yeah. Just a quick little aside. I mean, these, whatever. What I know it's not Jim Johnson anymore, but when I
Oh,
was at a house show a few months ago,
CFO.
when I was CFO, when I was at a house show a few months ago, and Jason Jordan came out, the guy next to me completely cracked me up, and he's like, "Oh, another Jim Johnson original." And I was like, "Yeah, I mean, you couldn't tell the difference between like a Jason Jordan's theme and I don't know, fucking Apollo Crews. You know what I mean?"
I was never sure of the specifics, like the falling out quote with Jim Johnson and Vince or WWE. It's a goddamn shame that guy is probably not going to get inducted in the Hall of Fame because if anyone deserves it, look at all the themes, the legendary themes that guy just pulled out of his ass. Like, my God.
Like decent themes. Yeah, no, he made a lot of good themes, and it feels like this is a topic for another time for sure.
Does that speak
Themes
to
and
the excitement of
music.
the pre-show that we're analyzing Jim Johnston's career? I mean, other than that, honestly, we missed the sloppy Lana match where apparently, from what I hear, the focus was on a lot of Lana's offense, which makes fucking sense to me. Almost getting the win apparently in front of 30 people. What I think that was actually the first match, maybe, or was it the tag match?
I, it looks like that the mixed tag was the first match,
Either way,
which no surprise that Almas and Vega went over.
right. And either way, a lot of filler, a lot of nonsense. That's your typical fucking pre-show. The show kicked off with the IC title match, but neither you and I saw. Official result, though, I don't even know the official result because it's been such a hectic night for me.
Rollins beat Ziggler. I don't know the finish. I don't know how the match went, but I definitely gonna go back and check it out. I guess Ambrose was with Rollins and he didn't turn heel, so
And I'm seeing rumors that it's going to be a tag match in Hell in the Cell, which, whatever.
yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
Let's just tease it
It,
until Ambrose turns heel, I guess, is what they're doing.
Now, do you think Ambrose would work well as a heel?
I feel like in CZW, yes. I feel like in this
Well,
environment,
100%. Yeah,
it would just be generic Brian Pillman, and that's what it's been since he's been a babyface anyway. So
yeah.
it'd just kind of be more of the
I,
same goofy Dean Ambrose,
I
just
mean,
doing
I
mean
said it
things.
last night. I said it last night on the NXT post show. Like, I kind of like Dean. I liked Dean, I should say, in that like mid card, goofy kind of like Mick Foley role,
Mhm.
where he was like, "Oh, he's a lunatic. He shows up to the arena late. You know, he wears a wife beater in the ring." But now it seems like that they're going for like a more serious approach to him.
I even remember back, and obviously you probably remember that segment a couple years ago with Foley like giving him advice or passing Barbie to Dean Ambrose. I kind of looked at that in a way as, you know what, that was kind of a passing the torch to this generation's Mick Foley, an upper mid card guy who's just like you said, a little off kilter, who'll win the big ones sometimes, but never a top focal point. But no, I guess
Yeah,
they're trying to make him Steve fucking Austin now, I guess, or something. We'll see.
and and another thing I said too about that was like the perfect encompassing like for character like moment for Dean Ambrose for me was when he won the belt, and right after that, he's in the taxi cab, arriving to the building, gets out of the taxi cab, but has to stop the taxi to get the title back out of the back seat because he left it there.
At
Like it
least
was silly, it was funny. It was like a Mick Foley entering the building with a fucking sock on his hand. You know what I mean?
But then, like, what? Not even a year later, I remember them jumping the shark on that with him. Like he was in a hot dog cart and playing with mustard and being dumb and just what? Like, yeah, they totally. I don't know what they don't know how to book a Dean Ambrose in their with their current product. I feel like there's too many corners they'd have to cut, too many people sponsors they'd have to be weary of. I feel like he couldn't go full Dean. You know what I'm saying? And
Right, right, right.
that
And
sucks,
no,
but it
yeah,
is what it
John.
is, and that's why he's a perfect fit for the mid card. I feel like maybe.
Yeah, 100%. And I don't think like size hurts. I think he's not like the prototypical WWE superstar. You know what I mean? So they're not going to give him those opportunities to rise above his position,
Yeah.
which is not always a bad thing. It's not like people are going to stop buying Dean Ambrose merch. People love the guy.
Exactly. He's got his rabbits and his creeper fans that use him as an avatar on Twitter for sure, in droves. Guys,
I mean, I can't talk because I got Juventud Guerrero as my avatar on Twitter right now.
see that the difference is that's unique and it's classy. Unlike with, oh look, I have a DA logo as my. Come on, show some originality.
Oh, right, right. Yeah.
Let's just get right to it.
Definitely,
For everything we missed,
definitely gonna go check that match out because apparently everybody's saying it was the best match in the evening.
I could really care less about the Bludgeon Brothers match, honestly. Um,
You know, it's funny. I was at Walmart during this time, and I looked on Wikipedia, and I saw the New Day defeated the Bludgeon Brothers, and I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And then I saw it by disqualification. I was like, "Oh, of course."
yeah, and that was that.
That's that.
Like
Strowman beat Owens in a minute and 50 seconds. Was Owens? Did Owens get hurt?
I don't think so. I think
Or
this
did
was
they
cut
just
short
throw the
because
squash?
yeah, I think because Braun was obviously now looking back, he was planning to come out later. Maybe that's why it was cut back a little shorter too. But I mean, it's not like
Yeah,
Braun had a full length fucking match later on. So good point. You got me.
it's a little weird. Yeah.
I mean, it's a little shitty too for
Um.
Kevin Owens. I feel like they would throw him a bone eventually from all the shit he's had to eat in the past couple months, but I feel like it's coming. He seems like a company guy. He doesn't seem pissy and miserable, I guess. I mean, I don't know. It's still
No.
people get on Twitter and they get on the social and they're so quick to analyze. Well, Neville was miserable, but then there's other guys like we don't know. A lot of these guys, it's their fucking dream to be there. You know what I mean? So they'll gladly eat
Yeah.
shit. Just I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah. No, dude. And Strowman could be the biggest fucking baby face that we've seen. I don't know, man. I don't want to make the comparisons to like Hogan, but he could really be a big guy for that company. And I think they don't want to blow the wad too quickly. But we'll get to that later.
We will. We will. But the three-way SmackDown Women's match. When you and okay, now we can get down to business here. So we roll up our
Mhm.
sleeves here. Way better than I feel like this probably had any right to be, considering as much shit as Carmella gets. I've defended Carmella for months, saying what a great heel she's been, but I couldn't really
Me
validate
too.
backing up her ring work.
Me
She
too.
proved me wrong tonight. She held her own. She hung in there, and man, what can I say? I like this match.
From what I saw at the tail end, yeah, she did a pretty good job. Um, I, I feel like it's unfortunate that this is the moment that she lost the belt. Um, because I think that a triple threat, especially after all the victories she's had of late, a triple threat is like the perfect excuse to get a heel champion a victory. You know what I mean? Like they could
Yeah.
have had Becky Lynch still turn on Charlotte and have Carmella go over. You know what I mean? Like
I feel
there
like in
could
a
have been
weird
potentially
way,
still.
the person this may or may not have hurt the most wasn't even in the match as Asuka. It made now this makes Asuka, who had it seemed like they were, as we all thought, building Carmella up, right? Like she was getting these wins over someone that had that streak forever. Now that shit means even less than because this felt so lackluster. Carmella just felt like a placeholder in this to help carry on the storyline with Becky Lynch and Charlotte. She felt like a prop.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's true. Asuka was the fall girl, and I mean it's weird, like you said, because like now the main focus is going to be on Charlotte and Becky. So what the fuck did they do with Carmella
It's a
now
good
that she's
question.
not the champion? You could have kept Carmella as the champion and made your main focus be Becky and Charlotte. I mean, there's no reason you can't have two storylines with females on the same show running congruently. You know what I mean?
Why are we even considering the fact that they might know what they're going to do? They have no clue what they're going to do with Carmella. See, that's another thing that they do to themselves. Yes, I get it. It's the most stacked talent roster they've ever had in the 32 women's fucking tournament. Jesus Christ, you oversaturate your roster much? It's too much.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, and I get it. It's good to have that talent on standby, but you're just going to squander over half of them when you stack it like this.
Yeah, like we just said, Oscar. I mean, is that when you have when you have Charlotte, when you have Becky, when you have who else is on that show? I mean, I like the Iconics. I don't care what
Naomi's
anybody
pretty good.
says.
I'm a Naomi fan. I'll admit it. She impresses me.
Naomi's good. She's good for the SmackDown brand. But then it's like, yeah, and then it's like, all right, well, we got to push Oscar all the way to the bottom of the pack. That's what it feels. I mean, and it's like, yeah, because when you don't have that structure of okay, this is who we want at the top, this is who we have chasing, this is who we have chasing the people that are chasing, and these are the jobbers. You're gonna get that. You're gonna get people that you don't that you want to see do well, like Oscar. They're gonna have to basically from the front of the line to the back of the line, and it fucks them up so. And some people never recover. I mean, honestly, do you sometimes forget that Asuka won like whatever the fuck it was, 100 plus matches in a row?
Dude, I totally do. And I don't want people to come at me or any of the bullshit. Especially with Kairi Sane winning last night. Asuka's reign now just feels like a really long flavor of the Japanese month to me. It's like that was their Japanese girl. Now Kairi Sane is the hot new shit for them. It's like she's, I agree. I agree. And I don't know if it's going to. We know all the rumors with Asuka quote leaving and all. We don't know what to fucking believe lately, okay? Maybe she will leave.
Yeah.
Months from now or years from now, whatever, I'd like to go back and see maybe she had a bad attitude. That's why she was booked like shit in the main roster. I feel like something's going on we don't know about on Asuka's end too. Like that, it couldn't just be. You don't take something that special. And this is WWE, but Jesus Christ, how do you take something that organic? The fans were behind Asuka. She had tons of support. That streak that they jizzed all over forever and just do nothing. So I feel like she might have been her worst enemy politically backstage, and that'll come out sometime.
It's one of those situations where it's like, and the thing is like she's tried to learn. The thing that's crazy about it is like she has noticeably like tried to learn English.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Try to get better at it. And it's like when they start doing that, it's like a sign, kind of like that the WWE has like investment in them.
Yes.
Or that they're invested in being in, U.S. wrestling. But I really don't know what's up with that situation.
Maybe she really will end up being the female Neville by the end of it. A tremendous talent, just not content and just left.
I don't know, man. It'd be such a fucking shame.
What wasn't a shame, though, OJ, was a much-needed shake-up for Becky Lynch's character. I totally agree with the heel turn 100%. Looking back now, yes, it's SmackDown Women's title. I wasn't invested in this storyline at any point. It's just kind of there for me, but now that I've taken it all in, they kind of booked it perfectly. It does kind of seem like you can see how Charlotte butted herself in, getting Paige to insert her in the title match, Becky resenting that, so you can see her side. You don't want to book the sympathy for Becky too much if you want her to be a heel, which is the result of her getting the fucking shit cheered out of her tonight when she turned heel. That's the problem with that. But I feel like she definitely has that heel in her. We saw when she first came to like NXT and stuff. She can pull it off.
Yeah. I think this is good to put another heel on that show. I think it was probably needed because you have Charlotte, you have the Iconics, and then you have who are the two girls with Paige or whatever they were called.
Oh, Absolution.
Yeah,
Your favorite,
yeah.
Mandy Rose. How could you forget, OJ? My God.
I don't remember the team. I know Mandy Rose. I don't remember the team name. But I think this was probably needed. I don't know. It was done better, but here's the thing: are we sure that Becky Lynch is going to go full heel? I mean, look what they've done with fucking the Hug Squad or whatever they're called.
Right. Now, I fully expect there to be a therapy vignette Tuesday. So.
Yeah, I mean, literally, they're running like the same storyline, just different shows. Essentially.
God, I just hope they've maybe learned something from how shitty that panned out with Dr. Shelby.
Yeah, hopefully they don't fuck it up that bad.
Lightning can't strike twice, hopefully. But that's that. New SmackDown Women's Champ Charlotte. Wash our hands, move on to the next. It was the time for AJ Styles and Samoa Joe.
Yes, it was.
Let me tell you something. I worried about this match going in. Because I feel like it wasn't going to get the proper time. I feel like it was going to be a shell of what the age catches up to everybody. Let me tell you this. That for me, this was my favorite match of the night. Everything about this was great. I've seen a lot of people on Twitter complaining about the booking, the finish of this match. And you know what? With Dick Kick City infecting all of us this past year, I got all that. But this made, as a parent myself, beautiful booking. Beautiful booking with using the daughter. It wasn't too hokey. It was just enough. And it was good. And the match, my God, the match. Good stuff.
Well, they always work well together. That's not a surprise. But this is like one of the few times where it's like a disqualification on pay-per-view I'm not mad about. It worked for the storyline, the whole personal angle. It's one of those things where it's like nothing irritates me more than when one guy makes it personal and the other guy uses headlocks. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
like Samoa Joe crossed that line tonight, and now AJ's getting back. AJ didn't give a shit about winning the match at that point. He cared about beating the fuck out of Samoa Joe. And just that little part at the end where AJ, I believe he was busted open the hard way. I don't think he bladed.
Yeah, it was hard.
And it just it was one of those moments that like it was beautiful. It completely added to the moment.
Stars
I don't know if
were
you
aligned, brother.
And then just him going over afterwards and just the daughter going, "Daddy, you're bleeding," and he goes, "I know, baby." And it was like this is like it's like a fucking movie. You know what I mean? It's
Exactly.
like
The walk
it's
off
like
too into the
man
sunset with his family was.
it's like Man on Fire when fucking Denzel saves Dakota Fanning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or excuse me, Denzel Washington.
Anybody wondering why OJ was asked to come on this show? There you have it. And yes, man, I totally fucking agree. I would have been totally irked too if they would have just like hit his entrance music and he had like hopped back over the rail just to make his entrance back and all that. Like,
Yeah,
no,
right.
it was
They don't want none. They don't want.
hit my DMX
Could you
song.
just hit my faux DMX?
Or just like the music hits, he looks in his daughter's like face, close up, all blaze, like, gotta go, baby, DMX is on. Just hops over the rail, and that's back to business as usual for AJ. And a lot of
Yeah.
people that I saw complaining about this, look, I get it, man. WWE does this. It seems like they have to have some kind of hokey bullshit to have a finish. They can very rarely just have a straight up wrestling match unless it's to advance somebody squashing someone anymore, something like that. Okay, but these same people that complain about this DQ tonight are the same people also that bitch about lack of psychology in modern pro wrestling. What the fuck is your definition of psychology? Because if I'm running a wrestling school, this is a match I put on tape. How to book a personal type angle right.
Yeah.
Oh,
And it's one of those like I've said it before. Like the thing about wrestling, and especially in today with the short attention spans, you've got to create moments like that. People won't remember fucking a headlock from a hip toss that happened in the match. Some people might. Some people definitely do. There's no question about that. But there will be people. But there will be people who are like, "God damn!" 10 years down the line, you remember when fucking Samoa Joe got on the mic in the middle of the match and said that he'll be AJ Styles' daughter's new daddy?
it's like
And then AJ went fucking ape shit.
it's
People remember that.
it's like the match with The Rock and Mankind. Okay, people don't remember like, oh, Mankind kicked out of 3 rock bottoms. No, they remember like Rocky hitting him over the head with the bell and then getting on the mic and singing "Bells Will Be Ringing." Remember him hitting with a chair 27 goddamn times. They remember the shock factor moments because they sprinkled them in at just the right amounts. It wasn't too much.
And the cuts to the family fucking and the crowd bawling their eyes out. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and the electrocution part too in front of his kids was great.
Yeah. And
Enjoyed the
then what?
match. I would recommend checking this out if anything from this giant lengthy ass pay per view. I dug it.
No. Travis, remind me. Did they end that Mankind and Rock thing with like they had a recording or something of Mankind saying "I quit"?
Yeah,
Wasn't that the Russo booking?
it was bad, but thankfully it was incorporated into the storyline where it came out that the corporation tinkered with that and like spliced it. So it like
Yeah.
they saved it.
It's
But I don't know if that was the
it's not
plan. Maybe they're just like, man, that sounded really shitty. We got to think of something to fix this. So we don't look like assholes.
it's not horrible, but it's like it's kind of it's hokey looking back on it. Looking back on, they used a recording device to make him say "I quit."
Or like the
But no,
dastardly heels raising the Hell in the Cell up and down. Ooh, those scoundrels.
oh, well, speaking of which, I was just about to say, yeah, and to the people who are complaining about this, motherfuckers, Hell in a Cell is next month. Isn't that when feuds like this that are so personal that they have to be contained? Like they can't let these guys basically, um, they have to basically imprison these guys and let them beat the shit out of each other. Like, isn't that what's supposed to happen?
Case in point, Miz versus Daniel Bryan, our next match, OJ.
Yeah.
You know what?
Um,
I didn't not like this match either. I liked the finish, and just to what you just said, you took the words out of my mouth. What was going to be my review of this match? It leads up to a more intense, probably better match.
yeah, I agree.
And an 8-year fucking feud doesn't just need one; it needs at least 2 matches. I feel like after all this.
The finish was kind of weird. Um, with whatever the fuck, what did Maurice pull out? I don't even remember.
I don't think we ever saw like officially what it was. I'd
Yeah,
like
the
to assume it was like a tampon.
brass knuckles or oh,
Something.
a tampon. He got a tampon to the eye. Jesus Christ, he's blinded. Um, yeah, it was a good match, and I liked kind of like the move for move scenario that they went with, and at some points
I feel like
because it
when
was a callback like, to the fact that the Miz started using Daniel Bryan's moves while he was over on SmackDown and shit.
shout out to the Seattle Seahawks tights. I actually like them. I like those
Yeah,
tights.
you know what's funny? I thought I was trying to figure out why it was called like that. I'm like, oh, he's from Washington. That's right, or Washington. That's right.
We miss you, Logan. We really do, man. I know you're listening. You said you're going to listen to us. Hope you feel better, bud.
I was listening to him doing Trivia Mania the other night, and he asked a question about location of a show, and I guess one of the states that he came up with was Washington, and he said it just like that, Washington. It put a little smile on my face.
Hopefully, I can take the show and put the crescendo to a perfect pitch here so we can move it along.
The crescendo.
Daniel Bryan in the mist, though. You know what? The crowd was. We haven't talked about the crowd. The crowd was probably into some matches more than they should be. They were bored at times that I understood why they would be bored. They were into this match. They were totally into this match, as they should be. 8 year long build. It would have been pathetic if they would have just sat on their hands. So I'm glad they were invested with like no title on the line, and they didn't have a bad match. They had pretty much the match I thought they would have. There's some stiff shots in there from DB to the Miz, just nasty stuff.
Yes.
Miz doing really well selling, I feel like. And we talked about that invisible weapon spot. I still feel like the master of the invisible weapon is Jerry Lawler. Like he always found a way to make you think he had something in his fucking hands. And he made that shit work.
Yeah.
And I really feel like maybe the Miz never had anything. Maybe it was just a Jerry Lawler trick. That would have been cool. I like shit like that. Nice little touch. We
Yeah,
went
like I
from
said,
like shit like a legit pepper spray the week before to the invisible punch weapon.
so yeah, I mean, the finish, I was kind of like, eh. But and the other thing too was fucking Corey Graves' commentary was just getting on my nerves at that point. The fucking he was doing because I don't know if he's trying to do the whole what Michael Cole did for the Miz a few years ago, but that's really what it seemed like. Fucking jizzing all over everything Miz did.
Ectoplasm everywhere. Fucking yeah, I can see that now looking at it. He does that kind of for every heel, but it does now that I think about it seem like he does it more for the Miz, and like he's like his manager kind
Yeah,
of like Cole did. You're totally right. And
and
I
like
don't
he's
feel like it
called
was
out
executed. I feel like Corey Graves is kind of off tonight, to be honest with you. Maybe he's getting burnt out.
probably. I mean, it's one of those scenarios where I definitely I turned off commentary at that point.
Man, I know there was some. We didn't mention the Bellas vignette that apparently the crowd booed. Tip of the hat, crowd. There was another vignette here right before this with the Miz and the B Team, OJ, and it was whatever.
Oh yeah,
Okay, it was
that's
exactly
right.
what I thought it was
Yeah.
going to be. I mean, what did you think of it, real quick?
Well, now that you mentioned the whole like them being like too cocky, like too big for their britches, like it kind of made sense. Like it's probably going to work out that way. You know what I mean? Like them basically blowing off the Miz. Well, basically, pretending that they're too big for him now. Um, yeah, I mean, it was a good callback. It was a good callback to the months that they spent with him.
Maybe they'll bring it full circle. Like if the B Team gets too cocky in that booking with the AOP, that'll happen like the next pay-per-view or whatever, co-branded, and they run into the Miz again. Only this time the Miz laughs at him, but that's before the Miz's match with Daniel Bryan and Hell in a Cell, and then the Miz goes out and loses. So it all kind of
Yeah,
spins its way back around. But I wanted to say real quick.
I mean, you know what I wouldn't hate would like eventually like B team finds a way and they're about to beat AOP and then Miz fucking screws them.
That would make total sense too.
At some point, maybe new Survivor Series and maybe it's Team Miz versus Team B team. But anyways,
Team B Team. Hashtag Team B Team. That's awesome.
Oh my fucking god! That I didn't even think about that. Yeah,
That kind of
Team B.
has to happen now, WWE. Team B
That
Team for
has.
Survivor Series.
Could you imagine coming out with all of them, fucking them and 3 other fucking jobbers
And
with
they're just all
Team
guys
B?
with the name B. Bobby Roode, fucking Baron Corbin.
Oh, I'm thinking like they just get like the shittiest of the shitty, like R-Truth is on their team or something.
Bring back Ellsworth.
Oh yeah,
I mean, I said Bobby Roode the way he's booked. Hell, throw him on Team B Team. Fuck it. You know. I
right.
was
Might
going
as
to say
well.
that after this vignette, we were talking about the shitty commentary. Did you catch Byron Saxton going, B Team, yeah, B Team? Oh my
Oh,
fucking. Why
what?
is he employed? Holy shit.
And he's like fucking shucking and jiving. Yeah, yeah, that was embarrassing. I fucking yeah.
I'd rather have Nia Jax sit on my face after wrestling 2 60-minute Iron Women matches than listen to 5 more minutes of Byron Saxton anymore.
You,
Jesus,
honestly,
it's bad.
if they're really looking for a token black guy to put on commentary, I honestly wouldn't mind them having
Shelton Benjamin.
I don't. How did I know that was coming? Um, no. What's his name over on NXT? Percy Watson.
You know what? Call me crazy. I think he's actually really underrated.
I don't. I don't. He's really good. Like, like that's the thing is like Saxton is yeah. He's not good. He's. It's like him and Graves trade off nights to just fucking make me shut the volume down.
I I feel like Percy Watson is kind of what Byron should be. It's the hype man commentator gimmick, but it's done right. Percy has a good way of getting serious, but and Percy doesn't get like too robotic, I guess, like Byron. I don't know if that makes sense. Fucking
Yeah, he sounds way more natural. I think he's not like high pitched, like squeaky voice man.
and Percy has a way of throwing in those little shrieks at like high impact maneuvers that remind me of like a throwback to Lawler on commentary, which I like.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, like something like it's out of nowhere. Like there's like spike pile driver, Percy loses his shit, and it's just enough. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not saying he's
yeah.
perfect.
If
He's
he's
in
not,
developmental and he's
he's
learning, but I feel like when he gets the call up and when he gets more seasons, he'll be probably really good.
yeah. No, I agree. Do me a favor, all right? Because my somebody I saw made the greatest comparison ever. Look up the MMA fighter Yoel Romero, and he looks just like Percy Watson, like with Percy Watson with the beard now.
All
It's
right.
fucking terrifying how accurate
How do you yell? Okay, it's popped up.
Yoel
Holy
Romero.
shit! Holy shit! Yeah, I agree.
It's the same. It's the same guy.
He's leading a double life. We're on to you, Percy Watson. Not to fool us with your
but
shaving.
but yeah, no, I think Percy Watson should probably replace Saxton.
I think that day's coming. I think it's coming sooner than we think, too. I think
Yeah.
they notice that he's better. They would probably kind of have to, I feel like.
Speaking of noticing people who are bad, Finn Balor versus Baron Corbin.
All right. So I didn't I didn't mind this at all. I feel like it was booked. It was a great pace for one. It's the less I have to watch Baron Corbin wrestle, the better, especially in his TGI Fridays get up. It,
Yeah.
you know what? Fuck me. I liked it. I liked that the demon just kind of popped up out of nowhere. It was okay.
Yeah, I mean, you guys like just listening to shows around you guys like pretty much made me realize like oh he really only brings out the demon when he feels like he needs like he really needs that little extra bit of push to win a match to get through.
How many number one
And
contenders matches has he had before he wrestled Baron Corbin, by the way? A couple, I feel like. IC title matches. Didn't feel the need then, but Jesus Christ, if you run into a host at a fucking chain restaurant, put on the fucking
but
makeup, I guess. Good God.
but when he's facing the manager of Applebee's, yeah.
Yep. You don't want to run into
I,
that guy after a double shift. Let me tell you, on a Friday dinner rush, you better go to fucking Party City and get some clown makeup.
I made the joke tonight in the chat that Baron Corbin looks like the guy who dropped out of high school just to become a career pizza delivery guy, but still hangs out with all the high school kids because they're the only ones that think that he's cool.
He He looks like
He's
a elementary school like basketball coach or something in a bank. I don't know. I don't even know where my head's going right now.
that like 5 years into the job, they find out that he went to prison for like, but he's got tenure now, so now he's got to stay. They can't get rid of
Honestly,
him.
he looks like a really shitty coke dealer with really shitty coke. That's honestly what he looks like if we're gonna be serious. You know, like,
You know what he looks like? You remember the game Bully?
oh my god.
He looks like the kid from Bully grown up.
He looks like Phil from Pantera if he listened to disco and did nothing but like cocaine.
Oh my god. But yeah, I mean,
Thank
there's
you,
really
Baron
nothing.
Corbin. Thank you so much for your new look.
For me, there's really not much to say about this. I think the whole demon thing's kind of weird for a minute and 35-second match, but whatever. Fucking, they definitely spent more time putting all that shit on there, all the paint and everything on there than they actually did wrestling.
I don't know how I feel yet about these HD 3D effects that only we can see on our TVs and the people in the audience can't. But I feel like this cloud over the entrance of Finn Balor is probably the best one they've done because I feel like it was it wasn't like a giant puppy dog in her. It was just like this cloud that added to. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because there was basically he needed to get this fucking win over Corbin, so there was like a cloud over his head.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's true. I think that's what they were going for,
Oh.
which is weird to say. It's like, ah, I really need to beat Baron Corbin. Which I guess is true because it's like, man, if I lose to this fucking dog one more time, I may as well retire.
They yeah. They even poked some literal lines in there. They said, I don't know why he doesn't do the demon more. And in my heart of hearts, I'd kind of hope that now that Roman's the champ, Balor finally buckles down and we see more of the demon, and it's like that's his path back to the title was just be the demon more. Maybe they book it that way. I don't know. I
That's the thing, man. There's so much money in the demon character. I don't know why. I get why, but like I feel like I don't know because there's just such like I mean they've obviously ripped off like comic book villains or heroes and shit like that for
yeah.
the makeup, but there's so much money in the look. And I think it's like it's one of those things where just thinking from like the WWE's perspective, because he's such a small guy that it'll make him not seem so small. You know what I mean?
It really does. That
His
body
character,
paint makes him look larger. I'll admit it.
his his character, like the character will be larger than life. You know what I mean? Just kind of like Sean had that charisma that makes him larger than life.
I'll say one thing
So
as
you,
we move on the card, OJ. There's a lot of face paint on the show. But and I going back to what you're saying about, I feel like face paint is one of those things in wrestling that are timeless. My kid that's into wrestling, not all of them are, but the one that's getting into it more, he had no clue who Sting was, but immediately when he saw him in WWE 2K18, he was drawn to him because the look.
yeah,
Sting is a timeless
100%.
character. Ultimate Warrior is timeless. LOD. Um, there's the money is in the makeup unless you're the Ascension. It's that simple.
It helps. It helps to stand out with some sort of look. It really does. And that's the thing is like I think that what's funny is like I think you saw two ends of the spectrum tonight when you had Finn and Corbin, where it's like that look change from Finn fucking extends his character to this motherfucker should be Universal Champion today. Whereas with Corbin, his look change, he should be on main event first match. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like main event the TV show.
He literally looks like he came from the after party at the VMAs. It does not work. They need to do something
Yeah,
with the gear.
I don't get like I honestly didn't think his ring gear before was like too bad. Like, oh, he's the lone wolf, so he dresses like a fucking
A metal guy.
shithead at a hardcore concert that starts the mosh pit.
He looks like the metal guy that comes up to you and calls you a pussy for no reason at a concert when you're just having a good time. Dollar drafts, man.
Yeah,
These dickheads had too many. And
that comes up to you when you're wearing a shirt, a band shirt, and he's like, "Did you buy that at a show? Did you buy that at a show?" And if you didn't, he's gonna beat the fuck out of you.
you weren't at that tour. I was there. I didn't
Yeah,
see you.
Yeah, no, you're right. I wasn't at Bon Jovi fucking 1982 because I was fucking -10.
It's my dad's shirt, you meathead fucking cock. Oh my. Speaking of meathead cocks, actually there were none in this match, but Jeff Hardy and Nakamura, two
Well,
lovable, zany guys.
Shinsuke Nakamura is known to hit the dick a few times.
You're not a big fan of Jeff Hardy, OJ, that I found out today.
No, fucking goofball, spot monkey, meth head.
And you know what? That's fair. I'm not going to be like you're wrong at all.
Here's my thing. The reason I think Jeff Hardy got a lot, yeah, and it's one of those things where it's like, okay, he's got charisma, obviously, and he's not the biggest guy. So yes, I can say that he's kind of like in that Finn Balor, Shawn Michaels category in terms of character, where people are always going to see him as timeless. But I don't think he's as talented as either of those guys in the ring. And I think the reason that he's gotten really far in this business is because he's willing to do things that a lot of guys aren't willing to do. And a prime example was that fucking spot on the apron tonight where he swantoned onto it. A guy with a history of back problems, who's 40 plus years old, is doing swanton onto the ring apron.
Who
What
just
the fuck?
had a rumored injury too, like last month.
Yeah, whose brother's almost in a fucking wheelchair. You know what I mean?
And he was the less reckless one, and he's the one going to retire first.
Exactly.
How does it always work
So
that way? Dory Funk retired before Terry. Fucking Jesus. Money.
yeah,
Money, money, money.
it's fucking ridiculous. Um, but yeah, I mean, those are just some of the reasons I don't like. I'm not a big fan of Jeff. And I always thought like Matt. I was always like feeling bad for Matt because I feel like he kind of got shafted in the whole Eddie thing. Like he was, I don't know. I don't want to say he should have been world champion, but he was so over at the time, and I don't think they capitalized on it.
I've said it a million times on this show. They took the hottest gimmick, possibly, dare I say, in the wrestling world a year ago or a year and a half ago, and now where is it? It's recovering on the DL, basically.
Yeah, it's a joke. It's a goof gimmick.
Yeah,
I mean,
pretty
not to
much.
say that that it wasn't that it's like the most serious thing, but it didn't have to become fucking a piss break match. A piss break thing.
And a guy right now that I worry about is on borderline of that has been Nakamura. I feel like he's so good at being a heel, way better than I thought, that he's preventing it from being full filler comedy bullshit. But it's not far. He's been damaged good so much since the AJ Styles stuff, in my opinion. It took
That
so
hurt
much
for sure.
sizzle off and buzz off of him, like kind of like Asuka in a way. Hate to say it. I hate to be
That
the negative Nancy man, but when it's in your face and it tastes like it smells like it. I mean, it's that.
Yeah, it's shit. But I think that his role right now is good. I think him continuing to win as the mid card heel is a good thing, and I think he can probably by the end of the year, maybe early next year, can build up to kind of like that uh, main event scene again.
Dare I say they're in
I don't know.
rebuilding mode for his babyface run again. They kind of wanted to. The people weren't
I,
the people were kind of behind it big time, but not as much as maybe they had hoped. Maybe because they didn't build in baby steps, like have him mid card titles first, and then I don't know what their logic is on it.
but see, my thing is I was one of the people that was like fucking Shinsuke being heel isn't going to work, and so far it's completely exceeded all my expectations. It's been incredible. I really do enjoy it, man.
I
Like,
do too. I do too, and I think that's credit to him fully. I don't think they had a lot of maybe ideas for his heel character to change. This is all him. All this goofiness we're seeing.
yeah, I mean, I think it's symbolic that he hits people in the dick because that's exactly how he acts, and it just works. And the thing is like I thought, as a babyface, he was so expressive that you know they were going to keep him as such, or that that's the only way he could be. But as a heel, like his facials are incredible.
What did you think of the match and the finish, OJ?
I thought it was pretty good. Um, that fucking that fucking bump is gonna kill me for like the next week because
Yeah. Oh yeah. I liked the little back and forth
Uh,
between them in this match, like the Jeff doing the come on. I thought that was cute. Uh, got
yeah,
me. I popped. It was funny. Other than that, it
yeah.
was basically just
Look,
another SmackDown match. I
Jeff
feel like.
Hardy to me, so look, I, the thing is, I can separate the two because I can go, I'm not a Jeff Hardy fan, but I do see his place on the card,
Right.
and he played the fiery babyface tonight, and it worked.
Yeah. That's all you can really ask him to do, I guess, in this role. Um, and
Yep.
he's kind of a prime example. We're talking about Balor, 2009, 2008 Hardy, when he was the WWE champion. That's kind of where Balor should be now. That merch machine, face paint, top fucking guy.
100%. The thing is I think that well, I guess Brock's out of the probably out of the picture now, but he's going to have to basically compete with Reigns, Rollins, and Braun. You know what I mean? And I hope that they put him up there. I hope they put him on that pedestal. But this is WWE we're talking about.
Elias, gracing us with his presence. Typical Elias promo, actually pretty funny, shitting on New York. Talking about, believe it or not, I was a child once. That was funny to me. But
That was
goes to play the first strum, brother, and that was that. He got mad and he left.
yeah. That was that was good. Was that before or after the Nakamura match?
I honestly can't remember. I'm just kind of, as it happened,
Because
processing.
I thought it was kind of weird that like that happened, but also like Orton came out during Nakamura after Nakamura Hardy like walked to the ringside and then just left. So it's kind of like just two fucking
Yeah.
two heels just walking in and leaving, like really close to each other.
But it was not a lot to say about it. It served its purpose. I'm glad it wasn't drawn out and there wasn't like lettuce again, like with Jason Jordan back in the day. That's always the
Yeah,
bar not to go below anymore. I feel like is no lettuce in my Elias promo. I think it's a pass pretty much.
yeah. No, dude, I love Elias. As long as they do, when they keep doing this shit, it gives me confidence in the WWE seeing him as potential in the future.
Amen. And to
You know what I
anyone
mean?
that hasn't watched Walk with Elias documentary, I highly recommend it. It's very entertaining.
I
It's really well done.
I have not. I definitely got to check that out.
It's good stuff.
Um, but no, like I've listened to the album. I fucking was laughing. It was, dude. I'm excited about Elias. I think good things are still to come. And the
Most
thing is,
definitely.
it's not. We'll talk about this in the next match, but it's a slow burn. It's a sign of good things to come. Enjoy the process, basically.
Speaking of the next match, where did that take us to? 'Cause I thought it was Ronda and Alexa.
Rousey and Bliss.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my. Oh
Uh,
my. Time for OJ to get nice and ripe and pissed off. I personally feel like, well, real quick before we get sour, let's. It was good to see Natalia, and I thought it was awesome. She was wearing the jacket from the 1990 SummerSlam and the Anvils. Kind of shitty. She was cut off before she literally even stepped onto the floor mat by Alexa Bliss's. Now, if they're going for that, like Alexa's the heel and she's cutting her off, that's fine. But they never played to that. So it's like that came off to me like they're short on time. Well, we got our Anvil tribute in. All right, on to the next. I don't know, but did you notice that?
sort of. I'll be honest with you. I had the volume off.
Oh.
I mean, I saw Natalia come out. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I didn't notice that they cut her off.
They did. They did. That was
But
kind of
if they
shitty.
did, that's unbelievably shitty.
Um,
Yeah, we know your dad's dead and shit, but we got to get Alexa Bliss out here.
Also, the Bellas at ringside. It's been on the internet all day. The rumored
Uh,
match is Nikki Bella and Ronda Rousey at Evolution. I'll believe it when I see it with that. But yes, every time these women were on camera tonight, they were booed. After the match, the celebration with Ronda, they got the shit booed. The crowd cheered everything. I thought maybe the crowd might turn on Ronda during this match and maybe boo her if she won. They didn't. She got a pop, and they stayed with it. Natalia came out, but in come the Bellas. Moment ruined. Moment fucking ruined.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. Crowd is apparently not too happy about that.
I'd ask you to review a match here, OJ, but I don't see much of a match. But What do
This
you
is a
just go
squash
ahead,
match.
rant, my brother.
Well, here's my issues with it. This is what Ronda's third match.
Yeah, something like that. Third or fourth, either way.
The third or fourth. Right. It's Ronda's third or fourth match. They've been pushing on their product that the women have worked hard for so many years that they deserve their time in the spotlight. They deserve to be featured as much as the men and deserve the big platform. And then Ronda comes in, basically doesn't go through any, obviously she trained. There's no question about that. But she doesn't go through the system that most of these women have had to go through. And within 8 months, she's the women's champion. So she basically just retired because there's no goal left at the end of the tunnel. There's no reason to compete at this point. She's essentially beaten everybody, sans the Nia Jax match. Like Alexa Bliss is what, a 6'5" 6-time champion. So she's unstoppable. So if she's at the top of the heap and Ronda's beating her in 4 minutes, who the fuck's supposed to beat Ronda? Alexa Bliss, not even 24 hours ago, I should say, was announced to be facing Trish Stratus at the Evolution pay-per-view in October. So obviously they have investment in Bliss getting, basically Trish is going to have the match with Bliss, a one night only deal. So why the fuck do you have her lose in 4 minutes?
Maybe in
That
their
doesn't make
eyes,
any
they
sense.
feel like they've built Alexa up enough where she doesn't need a belt to go into that match. She's enough of a name. In my eyes, I don't think she's anywhere near just the notches under her belt, quite frankly, that Trish does. She's not on that level yet. Potentially,
No.
in a couple years, she could be. You know,
Honestly, it should have. I mean, if they were going to really do it, Charlotte versus Trish. I mean, I was going to go for Charlotte versus Becky now, but I feel like Charlotte's been built up more as their girl.
yeah, exactly.
If they didn't fuck up, if they didn't fuck up Asuka, it could have been Asuka. Hell, remember they teased Sasha versus Trish at the Royal Rumble? What the fuck happened with that?
Yeah, that was actually, and I'm not the biggest Banks fan in the world, but that was actually
No.
maybe the best. My God, I'm such a dick. I try not to have my chat up real quick, OJ, in fear of crashing the stream. We've had 6 viewers for this stream, and I appreciate that. Lady Luck in the chat. Thank you for stopping by. First time watcher. Also, Virtuoso. Thank you so much. I almost put a Logan. I saved it there. Virtuoso, thank you, man. Appreciate you coming by. I'm not going to go back. And JD, thank you, man. And Brian M, another first time. Thank you guys so much, man, for listening to us just ramble on here about face paint and cocaine. And we appreciate you guys. And I would definitely do my best to go up the chat more. But back to the Ronda thing. Certain things I agree with on you. Certain things I don't. I feel like if Alexa has been booked more in ring dominantly over the past her runs, quote, or whatever. But she's always kind of been booked like a cowardly chicken shit. Maybe in a way, this is like she finally. It was like the mouse got caught by a cat. She got her comeuppance. Maybe that's why I didn't have a problem with this so much. B, I think one of the biggest sorely lacking things in this company for years has been monster killer heels done right, and and not just heel, but a monster killer badass character, no nonsense, that and I obviously Ronda is that, and I feel like that made it get a pass for me too. But on the other end, man, to your points, I totally could see a Ruby Riot, a fucking any of those girls resenting the fuck out of this. I totally can feel that all day long. There's a lot of touch and go stuff, a lot of iffy stuff you take chances with when you book this, and you're gonna piss people off. You're gonna have people to love it. At the end of the day, it's business. I know why they rushed Ronda up. I totally fucking get it. And to be honest, it's working. The fans, I honestly, man, I thought the fans would have turned on her so much sooner. And they're still running with it. The fans are still behind her, you know? And it's not like she's looked like dog shit either. And we got a lot of Meltzers out there and a lot of critiquers. She's only doing a certain amount of moves per match and blibbity blah. But then those same people say, well, Braun's one of my favorite guys in the world right now. He's the guy. How many fucking moves does Braun do? I mean, that kind of stuff is whatever. But we have a new Raw
Look,
Women's
man,
Champion. That's that. The match
that's
couldn't have gone more than 10 minutes, I feel like.
Right, and that's the thing is, like I said, there are moments you're gonna remember. You're gonna remember fucking Ronda in the ring holding the belt for the first time, but it was to me, like you said, it was too rushed. It's it completely goes against everything that they've been saying, in my opinion,
Yeah.
and it's frustrating because it's like
Can we at
I
least
don't know.
admit and come to terms with their entire women's division is a convoluted fucking mess?
Yeah, 100%. And
They
that's what
have
makes it
no fucking
it
clue.
makes it laughable. It makes it laughable that they want to say that, look how much better we're treating the women now. It's like, well, you're giving them TV time, but it's you're not booking them right. You're not booking them correctly in any manner.
Tons of amazing talent, but it goes back to what we said exactly at the top of the show, OJ. When you do this, when you stack it, you're WCW in 99, 98. You have too much talent, you don't know what to do with it, becomes laughable. It becomes a joke because you just see essentially a bunch of chickens running around with their head cut off on television. Booking that makes no fucking sense. You have shit like a Riot Squad and an Absolution, which in 2 months both mean fucking nothing, which was supposed to be a serious invasion in the beginning. And now where are we with that bullshit? It's good God. You have someone like Crazy Mary Dobson right there who's just being wasted away into oblivion, doing nothing with Nikki Cross. Amazing fucking talent. You know what, Bailey? Say what you want about the character. The girl's okay. She can work. She can have good matches. Being wasted. Sasha Banks, unbelievable heel. Let's make her a babyface for 3 fucking years and do nothing with her. It's frustrating to even invest in anything women's division for more than 5 minutes with WWE, which is why I highly suggest anyone listening to this check out Impact Wrestling's women division right now. I say it all the time lately. It's really good. And it's really good. And it's not, there's a lot of talent there, but it's not overly stacked like we're getting to, guys. It's just enough. And I feel like it's probably the best women's division in the world right now, besides like your Shimmers and your all women's, obviously. But yeah, I'm glad. I don't think we disagreed. I feel like we would have disagreed more than I thought here. I agreed with you more than I thought in this. There's a lot of shittiness in the booking of this. Coming just
Yeah,
from the shoes.
I think it's just indicative of where they're at with booking the women right now.
And I realize I'm
They're
stumbling
going
over
for
my
they're,
words. It's late. All apologies to the listeners and you, man.
no worries, man. I
But
got everything you're saying, brother.
thankfully, just like boys to men, we have reached the end of the road, my friend. Main event time. The big dog and his big steaks and his puppy pound going against Beastie Boy. I'm not even going to get into it. It was just Roman and Brock, guys. We all know. We're sick of it. Blah blah blah. Let's just rip the band-aid off. We did it. Unexpected though. Braun Strowman's music hits after the introductions. I'm not gonna lie. I put my cell phone down and I was a little bit hyped here. Not gonna lie. I thought maybe I didn't think there was gonna be a cash in, but I thought Braun would stand there like we all thought and would wait until the end and there'd be another match. I honestly thought Braun was gonna walk away by the end of this pay-per-view's Universal Champion. OJ. We didn't get that, but you know what? Same time, a lot of people were pissed right now. A lot of people hated this match. I'm just glad we can move the fuck on by the end of this. I don't care if this was the worst match. Give me Vern Gagne and fucking Lou Thez wrestling for 4 days. Make it like that. I don't care as long as we do something with this useless fucking prop of a red belt. Finally, we get a ball rolling with it. I don't care if it's on Roman. And I'm not a big hater of Roman. I think he gets a lot of flack unneeded, but I'm fine with it. I was fine with how they used Braun in it to pan out. It made sense. He took an F5 on the outside, for Christ's sakes. No, of course he's not going to get right up, guys. Calm down. Then he got his ass beat with the chair. Of course he's not going to get up. But at the same time, I get it. He got run over with trucks and blah, blah, blah. LOL wrestling, guys. Let's just get the belt off Brock and call it a night. That was that, OJ.
Yeah, I mean, granted, this match was very short. I don't think that they should have done two so short matches back to back. Especially if you're going to the building, I don't know. This was what it needed to be because if it went longer than 10 minutes, it would have got messy at the Barclays Center. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, honestly, I'm like you said, I don't hate Roman. I kind of like the guy. I just hope that they do right by him and eventually turn him heel because I think that he would be a great heel. As I believe was Alpha has said, they trained their in the Samoans with the wrestling families. They train their kids basically to be heels since they started coming over to the U.S. because they knew that it was going to make them money. Um, I think Reigns would be a great heel with Braun as the babyface. I mean, I dare I say I could see Reigns be like maybe leading a fucking heel faction like a Triple H, being that cocky prick. Um, but yeah, no, this was what it needed to be. I really like the finish. I really like the storytelling, and I think it actually. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that the fact that Roman kind of picked up a cheesy win when you look at it, the fact that Brock was kind of distracted by trying to beat the shit out of Braun because he was worried that he was going to have to face him afterwards, and then as he gets back in the ring, Reigns hits the spear 1, 2, 3. I think, yeah, I think this was what it needed to be, and that fucking belt's going to be on Monday nights again. Finally,
Finally, the IC era is over. Virtuoso in the chat
yeah,
says Brock has to train for Daniel Cormier. Cormier for the UFC heavyweight title. Plus, Braun
yep.
versus Strowman is a better matchup in his opinion. I don't think you meant to
Braun
put Braun
versus
versus
Strowman.
Strowman. I think you meant to put Braun versus
Braun
Roman.
versus Roman.
I've seen Braun and
Yeah,
Roman
yeah,
at a
yeah.
house show live, and it was really good. And I don't feel like they had shitty matches. I feel like they were intense. I don't know if that's the feud
No,
I want to see initially. I'd like to see the Demon Balor more probably with Reigns. Anything. I don't care.
that'd
We're
be
just
good.
doing something with the belt now. I like it. Doesn't matter.
That'd be good. I agree. It was a little awkward at the end with like Braun because like they kind of like panned out and you could see that Braun was like kind of getting back up on the
They
stage.
were intense. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, whatever. It was good. I enjoyed the fact that because I was looking at it, it was like what like 10:55 or whatever when the match was starting, and I'm like, all right, let's do this. Let's get this over with in less than 10 minutes, and they did. So I was satisfied. And they finally got the belt off of Brock. Although I would have liked to have seen something with Paul Heyman, especially after all the shit that they did.
Yeah, he was just kind of there. Just,
Yeah,
well,
it really didn't make a lot of sense for him to just be not like him not get involved in any form or facet.
and out of all the matches and the programs these two guys have had, this one I feel like was built up the best. I mean, it had the most history of all the matches to go with, but I just feel like the Heyman segments were probably the best out of any of the angles these two guys have had, and any of the builds. It was just me. I liked. I love when Heyman references how he managed Roman's dad, and he does like Samoan quotes. That just adds a nice little touch on it. I feel like, but I mean, the Heyman's a master of that. Expect no less. And that was that, man. That was SummerSlam 2018. It's in the books. I'll say this. If any pay-per-views in WWE have fallen from grace over the past couple of years, it's been SummerSlam. Not a lot of memorable moments over the last couple of years. Honestly, top of my head, I can only honestly remember Cena and Orton getting their ass handed to him by Brock, Jon Stewart, Taker, and Brock. And that's about it, besides Daniel Bryan. I feel like the last good SummerSlam was when Daniel Bryan and CM Punk and Brock, and that was 2013. I would give this SummerSlam a pass. I'll give it a solid B. Way better than what I thought. Maybe if I went back, the score might be a little lower, but I'm just refreshed that I feel like I didn't get ripped off. It wasn't a backlash. I feel like it was definitely not TakeOver, but not a big, long 5-hour piss break, man. And in this day and age with WWE, refreshing. That's my 2 cents. What do you grade SummerSlam 2018, OJ?
Well, I completely agree with your sentiments. I wasn't even going to really watch the show, and then pretty much let out early tonight. So decided, all right, let me check out the show. And yeah, SummerSlam's an event I've been avoiding for the last couple of years because really, end of the summer, it's like weather starts to kind of decline. It's like I could be doing something better than watching 5 hours of shit. But no, I'd give it 3 Peyton Royces out of 4.
That was a way lighter score than I thought you were gonna give it.
Really,
It
out
was
of 4, three
I
out of 4.
I
I think
tried to
that's
make
pretty
a
good.
lighter joke for Uncle Dave and I failed miserably. It's
Oh,
late.
lighter. Oh, I get it. I see. I see.
Get it because, everyone hates Dave
You
Meltzer,
said
apparently.
you said lighter. Yeah, whatever. Look, y'all can hate Dave Meltzer, whatever.
That
I'm gonna
needs to
love
be
Royce no matter what.
that needs to be either a trend, a tattoo, or a T-shirt. You guys hate Dave Meltzer? ... Back of the shirt, whatever.
Whatever.
My man, OJ
And,
from Future Entertainment. Thank you so much, my man, for filling in. Well, not filling in, but for doing the job of two on your end and me doing the job of two on mine. Once again, Logan, hope you feel better. Colin, love to have you back soon. Hope you get all your tech stuff worked out. Until next time, man, OJ, once again, where can everyone catch you, Logan, and what you do?
well, I was gonna say thank you, OJ, for not dying on me tonight. um, yeah, man. You can find me at OJ the Juice on Twitter, JEWCE, and over on Future Entertainment doing shows with Logan. And yeah, thanks, Travis, man. I had a good time.
Anytime, man, for sure. Expect to see OJ back on here sooner than later. As always, follow me on Twitter at BigTFB. Hit that subscribe right down below for everything retro gaming for wrestling. Once again, want to thank Lady Luck, JD, Virtuoso, anyone else who stopped by the chat tonight. It means a lot. Appreciate it. Until next time, Slam Pigs Podcast, Future Entertainment. See you then.
Like the wind with it. This is a man's game, little boy. Run along now. Think you got it for me? Come on now. You can't rock with me, and I'ma bring it to you. You can't rock with me. Watch out, give it to you. You can't rock with me. So let us sing it to you. Ain't no stopping me. Nah, you can't rock with me, and I'ma bring it to you. You can't rock with me. Watch out, give it to you. You can't rock with me. So let us sing it to you. Ain't no stopping me. Nah, I'm at the top. Try to reach me there. Wanna start something, name a place, meet me there. I'm like a dog off his leash on the streets, beware. They should place me amongst the best and keep me there. And I'm the dog on the rise, and y'all wonder why they put my name on the top and yours under mine. Cause I ain't gonna stop, my confidence keep growing. And the minute that I see y'all stopping, I keep going. Y'all just pump my adrenaline, give me more energy. And I'm really definitely better than I ever been. You're not hot to me, there's no stopping me. You